Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation coach under the sun. Reason why is because I spend the most amount of time on my clients trying to understand where they're coming from and help them manifest a greater life. There's no coaching like my coaching under the sun anywhere on the internet. I'll bet you money on it. I coach mainly in audios and phone sessions. We talk with each and every single client of mine on a regular basis, at least twice a week, 2 to 3 times a week. We exchange audios on a regular basis and or we telephone during the week. Now, the two packages that are the most popular are the audio unlimited package, where we exchange audios. We do start with a phone session always to get to know each other and understand what you need to work on in coaching. That phone session is recorded with your permission, and then we start our audio exchange. Your audio needs to be 20-minute max for me to analyze, go through it. We start with childhood, going to adolescence, college years, adulthood, present time, all the ESPs, marriages, etc. Everything that I need to know that has happened up until today. And what that allows me to do is to understand what kinds of beliefs you've inherited, what kinds of experiences you have had that have prompted you to believe certain things about yourself and about the world in general. We work extensively on beliefs in my coaching. I believe that that is the most important thing that you can ever work on, actually. Even when you don't think that I'm working on your beliefs, we're still working on your beliefs in my coaching. We do have a way to work through the beliefs, which I do in my coaching, the emotionality behind it, etc. And only then do we proceed to the manifestational part. I'm convinced in my practice now for over 8 years that there is no such thing as manifesting something new until you let go of the old. There's just no such thing, okay? And the other most popular package is phone sessions. So basically, the same situation, except it's an hour phone call. We talk 2 to 3 times a week. And then I listen back to that hour, analyze it, take my notes, which are extensive. Everybody gets a notepad in my coaching. And then when we reconvene on our next conversation, I offer you my commentary analysis. If you're just starting out in my coaching, I would strongly suggest that you do the unlimited audio package, because it takes more time for you to think about what you're going to say. Maybe write some notes. I encourage that profoundly in my coaching. And also for me to go through everything and get to know you. Different people, different accents. I work with people all over the world. And so it needs to be that I kind of get to know how you even speak, kinds of words you choose, and to play the audio more than once. I do it with every single one of my clients until I really know their history. And then, if you want to later do the phone sessions and interact with me live, that package, that's fine. The audio exchange does include 5 phone calls, so intermittently we do correspond, this way. And I think that's amazing. And like I said, there's no coaching like my coaching. There's just no coach under the sun who does this for their clients, that they have access to them in this capacity and in this frequency. All right. So if you have any questions about my coaching, all the information is below before you pre-book. There is a coaching agreement that you will need to sign. It's pretty self-explanatory. It basically states that I'm not a psychiatrist. If you have a psychological disorder, I cannot help you with that, nor can I really I just can't help you with that. If you have an addiction currently, I can't do this in my coaching. I'm to be respected as a coach, not to be rebutted. My methods are not to be questioned. I'm not to be bombarded. You cannot send me more than one audio at a time. And lastly, everything is confidential and private unless I become aware that you have become a threat to yourself or to myself or to somebody else. It's pretty standard, even in therapy or any kind of other coaching. So that's what you'll need to sign and date and print your name on. And send it to me. This is just a precaution for me. Honestly, if there is a situation that will arise, I just need to cover my bases, so to speak. So additionally, if you have, I'm assuming that you're coming from YouTube, if you're listening to this as my client, if you'd like to book a separate telephone session, there's also that on my website. There's different packages on my website. There's a seminar, there's like a text only package. I'm just like highlighting the most beneficial and the most kind of popular. There are other things for people who are kind of like impatient and want to get an appetizer of my coaching. But if you'd like to spend an hour with me and make sure that I'm your kind of coach, there's also that, and you can get an hour with me and then decide if you'd like to hire me for a month. I mostly recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me. Some people spend more than that, but that's just kind of like generally speaking. Some people demand more. For some people, that's okay. Different people, different walks of life. So again, if you have any questions, email me or text me. My information is below. Now, I'm really inspired to record this. And by the way, happy 4th of July to everybody in America or everybody who is an American. I'm really inspired because it's raining in New York today and I fucking love it. It's so inspiring to me. There was thunder in the air and I already had some like thoughts circulating in my mind. I get these downloads and I thought, you know what? I just recorded something yesterday, but I'm going to take some time in my office and I'm going to record this because I'm inspired. So here we go. How to flip the script on your SP. Okay, so this has been kind of like my observation from the very beginning when I started observing different people contacting me about their SPs and basically referring certain different other coaches, meaning making references to them and what do you think about this and what do you think about that? And then I had to start looking these people up and there's some good ones, but most of it is not that great, I would have to say, because it's very kind of like superficial, in my opinion. And it doesn't really, there's a reason why a lot of people are so frustrated. There's a reason why there's so many people are not really helped, to be honest with you. So I'm doing my best here. And so basically, everybody who's got this SP problem is spending right now so much fucking time and energy on this rather than realizing, and this has been my repetitive mantra, if you will, redirect the energy towards yourself. And so flipping the script is rather easy if you understand the mechanics of it. Now, I say easy. It's not simple, but it's easy if you know the mechanics of it. If you know how to, work a piece of machinery, it's rather easy. It may not be simple to acquire the knowledge for it, but it's easy, okay? Now, here's the deal. Here's what my inspiration is to communicate today. Everybody's so fucking emotional about this, so invested in this, so absorbed in, like drenched in this shit, like desperation, depression, anxiety over this, and all this fucking bullshit. And you know why this is so? Is because the universe is trying to communicate to you, you're off fucking track. You're off track, dude or girl. The reason you feel so miserable in the first place because you're not acknowledging the God in the room, you. Okay, your perception is mis-fucking directed. You're attributing so much importance to one fucking person in your theater of universe when you are the universe. Like, imagine God, okay, everything under the sun, funneling their energy towards one person. Does this make sense to you? It doesn't make any fucking sense. They're just a person. Yes, very important one. Get it. You love him, love her, but it's just a person. It's just a person. But your attachment, and then the other component is that the attachment that you have right now, chances are, reason why it's not working out is that the attachment, the kind of energetic attachment or detachment, or however you want to say, basically the kind of energy you've got going on with this person is not what you want. That's not the energy that's going to produce the results that you want. You are worried, you're anxious, you're resentful, you're desperate, you're fearful, all of these situations. Ask yourself a logical question, my darling. When has it ever produced a good result when you felt this way? Don't worry, I'll wait. Come on, that's fucking funny, man. It's funny. It's funny. You're in this dark cloud of energy of attributing so much importance to somebody else. You feel miserable, and then it's like you say there's no way out. I gotta do affirmations. Oh, that's the kicker. Oh my God, it's actually quite sad, if I'll be honest with you. It's like people are denying themselves the opportunity to examine themselves. And they say, oh yeah, affirmations, that's what I need. Chanting, tapping, all these things that people come into my coaching and they tell me about. So many distractions instead of just looking at yourself straight in the face and saying, let me get to know you. The person who's responsible for all this drama panorama is staring you in the mirror with all their situations going on, and you're looking for something on the outside to make it right. Doesn't make any sense. So if you're having a hard time identifying what emotions or where they came from, it's usually a pattern, like I say in a lot of my audios, then, you need to get yourself a coach who resonates with you, okay? And you have to release that shit. Nothing's going to change until you do that. No technique under the sun. Like Esra's commented on my previous audio, one of my subscribers. If you don't know her, she's the one with a lot to say. No, I appreciate it. It's not that. It's just like, so something's got to give. At some point, you got to get coaching. That's it. That's the answer, because you can tell me, okay, she commented, I'm assuming it's a she, by the way. Yes, it's a she. Sorry. I apologize. I have so many different people that I talk to. She's telling me I scripted like a book, 200 pages, and none of it came true. Why? Because you don't believe it. That's why. You don't believe it. There's no part of you that believes it. And the reason why is that your beliefs that are in place right now completely override all that. You can write a fucking, 15,000 notepads with all kinds of different situations. If you don't believe it, it's useless. And you know what? If you're a person who has no resistance, that has worked on their beliefs and has worked on their emotions and is clear as a white page and doesn't have any resistance whatsoever, they can take a little index card, a 3x5 card, which I recommend highly in my coaching, and they can write a sentence, and that will come true in like an hour. That's the difference between a person who's processed their past and the person who has not. It's like, I already gave you this analogy. It's kind of gross. It's like putting shit on spaghetti and complaining it doesn't taste good. Seriously though. Can't do that. You can't do that. That's just like, you still have a lot of shit to process. You can't muddy the waters with your past. That's what the thing is. I can guarantee most of you, okay, have a negative situation going on with your SP. Resentment, unforgiveness, regret, shame, all these lower frequency energies, they keep what you want away. Fear, insecurities, all these situations. This is just physics, darlings. Physics, okay? If you have lower frequency energies going on towards that person, that kind of energies is transmuted towards them. That's the relationship you have with that person, and no other relationship, or no relationship at all, because they're not even there. The universe is for expansion, for union, for congregation, for being together, for uniting people, for happiness, for love. The resentment of it, and the fear and insecurities and all this shit, it takes things out of your life and people out of your life. It creates a distance between those things and yourself. Because in effect, you're saying, not for me. If I resent this person, then it's not for me. If I'm fearing something, it's not for me. Get it? And if I love something, it's in my life. I love this, I love that, da-da-da, da-da-da. Fears are emotions are extraordinarily powerful things. Really, really powerful. And so, again, chances are you're walking around with some emotions that have been downloaded from your beliefs that are completely not beneficial towards you. And you need to relinquish them. You need to completely relinquish it and start anew. Okay? When you're no longer emotionally invested in the past, you have the opportunity to create anew. It's as simple as that. It's like, give up on the past in the sense that treat it as a game. Listen, you have to treat it as a game. You have to be a little bit like looking at it as you're the painter, you're the artist, and you're painting. So you've painted a really fucking shitty masterpiece. A masterpiece could also be horrible, it's a masterpiece in the sense that great job, you've painted something horrible, but now paint something amazing, beautiful, sensational, something that is really joyful, beautiful, happy. Everything is valid in the universe. It's just what you prefer. Obviously, you don't prefer what you created, so create something new. So you see, this detachment from kind of being so emotionally involved about it allows you to treat it as a game, to treat it as an art form. Not to be like, oh my God, my life is over and all this. Come on. This is just a game. You're just a creator. You are the creator. But treat it like, I've created something shitty. I just have some processing to do. Anna's going to help me do it in her coaching. And then I'm going to go on to my merry life creating what the fuck I want to do. That's it. Period. The end. And in the case of your SP, going back to the subject, you can just, again, after processing all this, you can just directly instruct them in your mind. That is, well, I was obsessing over you. I was chasing you. I was acting like a complete idiot. I was being insecure, fearful, this and that and the other. But you know something? I'm not doing that anymore. And you were behaving like this and like that, ignoring me, being an asshole, But now we switch roles. Now you're chasing me, and I'm not going to be an asshole to you, but you're going to make it up to me. You're going to be a completely different person, a brand new version of yourself that I always wish I had. But the way to do it is not to chase, and the way to do it is not to have these you know, destructive emotions about this person. You need to construct them from ground up. And the way to do it is like forgive them, stop the resentment, and flip the script. Flip the script. Oh, you were doing that? No, now you're doing this. Now you're doing this. It's as simple as that. Trust me when I tell you. And even if they were completely opposite, you can switch them around to be a completely opposite person. I've done this. How I know it is possible that I've done this with many different people, not just SPs, but business people, business partners, all sorts of different situations. So the other thing is when you flip the script and you start scripting. Now, you cannot script out of desperation. You cannot be like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be done writing this and then this is going to come true. It has, again, we go back to emotions and energy. It has the energy of desperation. If you're writing it out of desperation, forget it. Like, seriously, forget it. You need to write it out of confidence. You need to some way, somehow bring yourself into this position of being in charge. I'm in charge. And when I'm done writing this, it's an order. It's like, duh, this is what's going to happen. Okay? It's natural. It's not like forceful. It's not, I'm trying to make something happen. I'm just describing the situation that's coming next. That's what the fuck I'm doing. Okay? Being desperate, needy, and all this jazz, it's, again, you give, as a god of your reality, you're giving away power, and that's no power at all. If you're sitting down and scripting as a god of your reality, forget it. You can create anything, and I mean anything. If you really have it in your consciousness that, all right, I've done this, that, and the other in the past, I haven't understood who I really am, but now I do. And so now what? Now what I'm writing. Now what I'm writing, I really know. I know it on a cellular level that this is reality. This is my reality now. Okay? I'm a different person now. This is my reality. And another thing, you have to care about you and what you want more than them. More than caring about them, yes. More than caring about them. And they will follow. They will say, yes, you're right. Because you are. Because most of you, like in my coaching, and anybody who's commenting, basically, you have this insecurity. And again, I don't know where you picked it up from, obviously from your upbringing and this and that, but not specifically where from or who from. But you've picked it up from somewhere. And you're looking at the world through the prism of insecurity, of fear. And so why are you surprised that the universe reflects it back to you? That even your SP, especially your SP, reflects it back to you. Where if you are in charge and you're caring about what you want to create and what you want to create and how you feel about things, naturally they will follow, because now you're not looking for confirmation or approval on the outside. You're like, no, we're doing this. And that's the end of fucking story. All right. And you're coming on this ride, and that's the end of story. That's it. I've decided, and this is what we're doing. It's as simple as that. Once you're done processing your drama, trauma, panorama, which is important. I'm not saying it's valid. Your emotions are valid. Everything is tremendously valid. Emotions are extraordinarily powerful, like I said. Then, listen, the benefit is twofold. You get to know yourself, and you are clear of that shit. And if it comes up once more, then you know how to deal with it. It's truly like an art form for life, because look at, you're a human being. You're going to get angry. You're going to get anxious, or you're going to get frustrated and this, that, and the other, or triggered and this and that. But it's just the way you deal with it, the way you process it, and don't maintain it in your life. You just let it go. And then you don't have a lot of garbage, in your living room. You don't carry those bricks around on your back. You live free. You live anew. You create anew. You created a certain kind of SP who wasn't what you wanted, and now you can create a completely different one. And that's how you flip the script. It's kind of like, yes, you're flipping the script for yourself and you're telling yourself, directing yourself, basically, what's coming next. Everybody's just following along. There's nobody to confront, nobody to resent, right? So nobody to really tell off or anything like this. This is why it's so funny when in my coaching, some people are get upset over what, I tell them. Not one or two, maybe 2 or 3 people basically in the year that I've been coaching on YouTube have been really kind of upset over what I told them. But it's necessary to face yourself. Either you're gonna be upset or you're going to change your life. Choose which one, really. I mean, it's up to you. Temporarily, yes, it's uncomfortable to face yourself sometimes, because some things that you've produced are not that great. So then what? Be humble enough, be human enough about it to forgive yourself and be like, okay, I have to face this so that later I don't repeat this shit anymore. And that's the thing. So there's nobody else to point fingers to, not even your SP, other than yourself. Truthfully. That's the humility of things. That's how much humility you have to really come to the understanding of how to change your life. And so in conclusion, the way to flip the script on your SP is let go of all that shit that you currently have going on towards yourself, towards others, towards them. You have a lot of emotions stored up. And I would advise you to seriously do it in coaching. And it will benefit you in such a way where immediately, once you start processing your forgiveness and emotions, you will start feeling the shift, and some people really, hesitate to go there because it is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable, but temporarily you can be uncomfortable, like I said, and then proceed to the merry, joyful life. Without confronting the demons in the closet, the garbage in your living room, you cannot start putting affirmations on top of it, scripting and all this kind of stuff, and create a new situation. You just can't. It's impossible. If it works for a split second, it won't stay. Okay? Just remember, everything's a mirror of you. The SP is a mirror of you. So the only one who needs to change is you. Literally, that's the game of this situation. You need to change, so your SP changes, comes back, does whatever you want them to do. You are in charge and understanding now enough that you are. But unless you make those changes, not a goddamn thing will change. The alternative, obviously, is divine, where you exactly know what you're doing. You command the universe is at your fingertips. And you can sit down and write down one sentence, like I said, after you're done really processing all this shit. And it comes true overnight, in 1 hour, in 5 minutes, whatever. It's easy. Manifestation part of it is easy. The challenging part is facing yourself and understanding you've created it all up until now because, for different reasons for different people, because they feel maybe ashamed, or I could have done this all along, or for whatever other reason, I don't know. And quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. The idea is to really go there and create a change because it's possible. And once you really get to know yourself, the rest is really easy. You can always, even if you fall off track, you can always go back and redo it over and over and over again. Everybody's human. Nobody's perfect. Okay. You can always, feel momentarily some emotions that are not so great, which is part of life, and you should welcome them. But the idea is not to suppress it, to just process it, relinquish it, and go back to drawing board and draw and paint more of the life that you really profoundly prefer. Okay, and not indulge yourself in these like extended periods of fucking drama where you sulk and worry and are depressed without any clue how to change it. That's the idea of coaching, and that's what I offer, and that's the idea of life, period. Thank you so much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time, ciao ciao.